I don't care, it's your baby. I want to wash hair. That's the name of the thread. Let's check it out. This is something that happened to my mother when my sister was just born. I don't know the exact details since it was about 20 years ago when I was 2 years old, but this is what my mother told us. So almost 20 years ago, my mother gave birth to my little sister, and it obviously was an amazing moment for my parents. Sis was born in the middle of the night, so the rest of the family wasn't there. Since there wasn't anything wrong, we could all go home the next day and we would have people visit at home after mom and sis had rested a bit. Sounds reasonable, right? We couldn't have been home an hour when my aunt came to see the baby. My dad answered the door because my mom was washing her newborn baby for the first time. Hi, I came to see your baby girl. Sorry, but we just came back from the hospital and are all tired. As I said, middle of the night, so no sleep for anyone. My wife is just washing the baby and then putting her to bed. Maybe you can come in a couple of hours or tomorrow? But she's my niece, why don't you just let me wash her? I have 2 children too, I know how to do it. No, that's not necessary, we are okay. Just come back later, then you can see our daughter. But she's my niece, I demand to give her a bath. It's her first time home and we would like to be with our baby, please. I don't care, it's your baby, I want to wash her. My aunt had always been pretty demanding because of how my grandma raised her, just her since she was the youngest. And my dad had always been, well, direct. Just leave my house, you can see her later, goodbye, as he closed the door. So what does my aunt do? The same thing as always, she complains to her mother, so they both come to our house about half an hour later. Why don't you let my daughter see your baby? It's also her family. Yes, and she can come see her with the rest of the family after we have had some sleep. It's been almost 35 hours that we have been awake and my wife is finally sleeping. Well, if she's sleeping, then we can go see your daughter, as she tries to sleep around my dad. No, she is sleeping too. I would like you to leave now. Nonsense, surely we can just hold her for a moment. I'm her grandma and you are my children. Even as adults, you still have to do as I say. Since my dad didn't want to do anything stupid, he just slammed the door in their face, disconnected the doorbell and went to sleep. They came back a couple times, even tried to open a window to get in, but finally they just gave up. My mom was so pissed when my father told her what happened that grandma and the aunt didn't get to see my sister for another week. Technically they were entitled parents, but this is more like an entitled people kind of story. An entitled mom ruins the school choir. Some context for anyone outside of the UK. Year 7 equals age 11 to 12. Year 12 is age 16 to 17. Secondary school is roughly equal to middle school. College is roughly equal to high school. When I had started secondary school, my head of year, Holly, selected about 20 singers/musicians who each year at the Christmas period will get a day off school and spend it traveling around to local care homes, which housed patients with severe disorders such as motor neuron disease, Alzheimer's, etc. So that we could sing Christmas carols/play Christmas music to the patients and staff. It was a super sweet thing for us to do, given that most of the patients never got any visitors. And I totally enjoyed doing it for the 5 years I was in secondary school. Typically we had about 10 to 15 singers and then around 5 musicians, but in the last 2 years we had reduced the musicians to just myself on guitar since it was easier to rehearse with and we felt it gave a more homely feel to the songs we were singing. Fast forward to year 12, Christmas 2017, when I had started college. Hoy now had a new group of year 7s, she had been in charge of my year since year 7, and again decided to select some pupils to do the carol singing. However, she asked me to come back that year to rehearse with the kids and come with them on the day to the care homes. Partly because the musical talent was slightly lacking in their year group, an offer I was perfectly happy to accept. One of the kids she selected was an identical twin. I met both of them once, they may have looked the same but couldn't have been more different, who was very talented and had an incredible voice. I did 2 rehearsals with the kids, got a nice a cappella number arranged alongside the other carols, and gave the talented twin a solo because my god, his voice was amazing. Cue entitled mom, EM. She emailed Hoy exclaiming that she was outraged that only one of her twins had been selected for the choir and demanded that her other child be added to the choir immediately. This was one day before we were all due to go around the care homes. Therefore, all the risk assessments and other documentation had been written and approved, and me, The kids and staff had been divided up between the minibus and Hoy's car. There were no spare seats and basically no time to change the documents, plus the larger minibus had been taken by the football team. This was all communicated to EM, who came back and said she would go straight to senior management if we didn't comply. Senior management had to side with EM, it was a school policy, and in order to make room for the other twin, I had to be removed from the trip. I was 2 months away from being able to drive and both my parents were working so couldn't chaperone me. And even if they had been free, it would have been too late to add their car to the risk assessment. Again, a school policy, so I was out. I was able to do one more rehearsal with the kids before they left for the care homes. Other twin was constantly distracting the rest of the kids, deliberately messing up, and to be honest couldn't sing a note in tune even with a gun to his head. I'm all for inclusion and all that, but this was a project Hoy and I had spent a month on. We wanted to put on the best show for the patients and staff, and it was falling apart right in front of us. Anyway, kids go off and I have to go home. I got a phone call from Hoy the following day. She explained how the other twin had actually been removed from the trip because he had been insulting the patients by mocking/copying the moaning of the motor neuron disease patients. Furthermore, the rest of the kids weren't sure what to do as they had never performed without me leading them, so most of the songs fell apart. Fortunately, they were able to restore some of their pride as I was asked to lead them in the school's Christmas assembly the next week, which they performed in without the other twin. The good twin wrote me an email as well and apologized for both EM's and brother's behavior, which I thought was an incredibly mature and sweet act for an 11-year-old. The next Christmas, 2018, Hoy decided to try and run the choir again. But to try and circumvent the issue, she asked good twin if he would be okay to not join in this time. He was incredibly gracious and agreed. Somehow though, EM found out and again lost the plot. Hoy was forced to shut down the whole project and was heartbroken. This is just one example of the ridiculous stuff teachers have to deal with daily, which 99% of them don't deserve at all. I don't care if you are showering, get out! Hello, I had made this account so I can tell this. It's just so stupid on what this is. Of course, beforehand, let me get this clear. EB stands for Entitled Brother in this, and I'm sure you all are smart enough to know what Mom and me stand for. This isn't the first time this has happened, just the worst. So, I live in a house with 3 working bedrooms, 2 which in there are bathtubs. So I have this thing I like to do when I'm feeling really stressed. I like to take hour showers. They don't actually take up to an hour, but they take longer than 20 minutes. I tell everyone in the house when I'm taking a shower too, so everything is fine. I just get naked and get into the shower. Everyone likes nice hot showers in the winter too, am I right? So it's only been probably a minute or two when someone tries to open the door. Lucky me, I lock doors. Then knocks on the door and the conversation goes like this. EB, what are you doing in there? I'm in the shower. Can you get out? No, I'm not getting out right now. I just got in. I got a piss. Use the other bathroom. Then I hear him stomp away, so I assume he went either downstairs or to his room. Now, both the bathrooms downstairs could not be taken because the only other people in the house at the time was my mom and my 3-year-old brother. So I go back to just standing under the water, thanking the gods for the boiling hot water. Then Evie starts banging on the door, commanding I get out of the shower so he can go to the bathroom. He's screaming and carrying on like he's 5, but he's 18. So soon enough my mom comes upstairs cause all of the racket my brother is causing. He tells her his side while I tell her mine. I had started washing my hair cause I'm in the shower, but of course, my mom says, "Get out the shower?" I was actually confused cause surely my mother can see that this was just dumb, but she didn't. I am not getting out of the shower? That's what blew it out of the water, I guess, cause she started screaming at me, calling me all these mean things. Now I'm just in the shower crying because I'm getting called all these things and being yelled at for just taking a shower, so I'm trying to spit clean myself. I ended up getting that nice fancy shampoo in my eyes. Fancy shampoo burns more than normal shampoo, so I had to grab the shower head and spray it at my eyes for maybe a minute or so. My eyes still burn after that. Now, I know you should never be disrespectful to your mom cause she birthed you, but I ended up yelling at her. I just got shampoo in my fucking eyes, just tell your dumbass son to use a different bathroom. But unfortunately I was forced out the bathroom. You know why he couldn't use the other bathroom? Because he didn't like the other one. That's just so dumb. I don't know if this even truly belongs here, but here it is. I mean, in this last story, couldn't the brother just have pee at the same time the other brother or sister was taking a shower? I mean, surely I'm not the only one that does that, or am I?